Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's Bricksmith again, aka Julian, here again with the show Forever Sorting with Kevin A. Hinkle. That's Kevin A. Hinkle right there.
Hello.
What this is a weekly episodic show about Kevin Hinkle's life with Lego and in the Lego company and the Lego group as an AFOL, as a lug member, as a T-fall, as a K-fall, as an anything fall. We got them all. We did. Last week we talked about Kevin's trek into getting hired at the Lego store. It was and college and his choice to go to Colorado.
I'm trying to remember what we talked about last time.
It's been a long time. It's been a week. It's been a long time. Like forever ago since we talked. So we're going to pretty much pick up there with Kevin. By the way, Kevin, before we get started, you tell everybody, say hello and all that, but tell us how to get a hold of you on the social media platforms.
Appreciate it. So hello, everybody, again. My name is Kevin, and I am a freelance artist. So if you have an interest in finding me online, following my work, I have a website, which is kevinahinkle.com. I am also on social media at Mr. Kevin Hinkle. If you want to follow my artwork, Mr. Hinkle Draws, across all the different platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Flickr. And I also produce a comic. Flickr is still a thing as of today, as of July, yes. And I also produce a comic for Lego fans called Bricks in the Middle. So if you have an interest in that, you can go to bricksinthemiddle.com or follow at BITM Comics on social media.
So what we're doing, if you haven't checked this out before, this is our third installment of this show. What we're doing is we're chronicling Kevin Hinkle's past history, simply because he has forgotten more than most people will know about Lego.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He has a plethora of knowledge and people and places, and if you ever wanted to hear the story behind what was going on with Lego at the time, Kevin probably knows it, and I figured that out. And I figured that it would be best to put it all in one place in small bite-sized sizes so we can devour Kevin's knowledge little bit by little bit instead of having to wade through a 6-hour live stream and hearing 20 minutes of Kevin's story. Kevin's stories are entertaining, educational, and absolutely a necessity to carry on in the world of the legal community. No, I firmly believe that, Kevin. You may not believe that, but I do. I believe that this is...
Sometimes I'll be honest. Sometimes I feel a little bad. Like when I'm in a live stream with a bunch of people, and then everyone's super awesome and like conversations flowing. Mm-hmm. But like I'll hear something, I'm like, oh, but that's not right though. Yeah, I feel like compelled to like give a little bit of like, well, the reason they did that is because of this. But then I feel like I derail it, and I'm like, I don't want to take it over. I'm not trying to, but like sometimes I just can't help myself.
No, but see, you say derail, but I see. For me personally, I can't answer for the whole community, but I answer for myself on this one. For you to correct or take over the live stream, I feel like it's almost a necessity if we want, as a community, to move forward and be strong as we possibly can. And again, everybody's going to say, well, you're just kissing Kevin A. Hinkle's butt. No, that's not it at all.
There's no kissing at. We're in two different states.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So anyway. But if you guys have any questions that we don't touch on tonight, or you want to tell Kevin Hinkle how great he is as a person, just like I always do, you just leave a comment down below. And also, without sounding sacrilegious, and before Kevin went on a tear just then, I would like also to, personally for me, chronicling Kevin's history with the Lego company, the Lego group. It's both, isn't it, or no?
Right. No, it's are we already going it? We're already in.
Just correct. Yes.
No, it is only the Lego group.
He works only for the Lego group.
The Lego group officially is the Lego group of companies.
Okay.
But by the book, they actually, like the legal team, do not appreciate the term the Lego company.
Okay.
It is not correct. But it's funny because Kel Christiansen, the third generation owner, prefers to say the Lego company. So the lawyers always get a little like, but he owns it. But yeah, the Lego Group is the official term. But yeah.
Okay.
We're already in it. We're already in the weeds, ladies and gentlemen. We're already in the knowledge.
There you go. With that said, though, I feel like with the knowledge that Kevin has and can just like that tell us what Kel feels like it needs to be called. I feel like what Kevin is saying is without it being sacrilegious, almost the Lego Bible. And I don't mean like the Lego Bible that person created. That is a beautiful thing.
Brendan Powell Smith.
There you go. That's my boy right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I keep Kevin Hinkle around. He did do that.
Good guy. It's a good guy. Very nice.
There you go. But anyway, so that's what I'm hoping that these will not so much. Well, how did this happen? Why did that happen? Well, let's look back and see what Kevin said. What would Kevin do?
What was remember? Was it a couple weeks ago in the 72-hour live stream when Brick Maniac was like, "Your answers are always the right ones." Like just like that random yell. Like it was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was great. Also, the Brickhead family put a pulled out part of my video and made a newscast about what Kevin Hinkle said about the 2x4 brick being canceled.
Right. That's some fake news. But
I bet the Lego company loved that one.
Yeah, it was funny though. But yeah, it was. I appreciate the oceanfront property in Arizona. Is the follow up.
That's the thing. So,
but it's super interesting to see the comments on that. Like, how could Lego ever do? I'm like, you guys,
come on, let's go, come on. But I don't want you guys to think that I think Kevin is God or anything. He's just my friend. The more we talk, the more I'm enjoying this. This is our third episode, and we have pre shows and post shows, and
shows in the middle.
Yeah, and we've done some talking, and he's enlightened me beyond the scope that I expected myself to be enlightened with. So,
is this like have you seen Doctor Strange, where you're like on the ground, you're like, teach me?
No, I've slept through that twice. The wife's not happy about that.
Well, all right, everybody.
Having that and peace. Oh, okay. With all those pleasantries done, thank God we're done with those. We were just
see you all next week.
Yeah, that's our time. No, last week we were talking about Kevin.
I got a job. I got a job at the Lego store.
But we were supposed to be talking about lugs.
We were. That's and since last time I found something. This is my first name tag that I ever wore. So this is they gave me when I started there. It's brick. It's real bricks.
Nice.
It just has the little clip glued to the back of it. And these are still the name tags that Legoland employees wear.
Nice.
So when I started at the store, this was also the Lego store name tag was a brick badge, and I thought that was really cool. And I've kept that ever since I got it.
Kevin.
And they
doesn't throw anything away.
Well, I throw some things away, but the good stuff. Because I also have my apron, which I was saying during one of our, I think it was post show.
Yeah.
This was not the uniform when I started working at the store, which is the uniforms they wear now. We actually had a bright yellow collared polo that had the Lego logo embroidered, and I thought that was a sharp. Like I enjoyed it. I was like, wow, that's a nice uniform, but not practical in the least. Like you sit there and you work in a retail store with like boxes and grime and yellow shirt, done. Like it was ruined every day. So what's interesting is that also wasn't the first uniform. The first uniform that the Lego store employees wore was actually a navy blue collared shirt. So if you go way back and look at pictures from like Lego stores and like when Mall of America opened in Anaheim in California, like they had navy blue shirts on. Then they did the yellow polo. Then they did a T-shirt. That was an experimental phase. Like we stopped with the yellow polos and we had a light gray, like a heathered gray T-shirt because it was to promote the Mindstorms coming out, the new Mindstorm kit. So it had the Mindstorms robot printed on the back and a Lego logo on the front. It was a weird combination because we had black dress pants and black dress shoes with a
T-shirt.
I mean, they didn't change the bottom half. Like when I started, we had the yellow polo and black dress pants, and then we switched to a T-shirt with black dress pants. I'm like, this is a weird combo. And then when the Mindstorms product released, they made another gray T-shirt that was supposed to be like just a generic gray T-shirt. Mm-hmm. So it had a minifigure on the back and a Lego thing on it. But then it became what everyone knows today, which is the yellow apron on the black polo. And I did keep it when I left so I could have my memories of I went to war in this apron. So.
Hey, let me ask you though, did you pick up the Mindstorm?
No, I don't have a Mindstorm. I don't have any of them. So when I started at Lego, we were still selling the Robotics Invention System 2.0, which it wasn't even Mindstorms. Well, no, Mindstorms was on the box, I think, but like I didn't buy that one. I didn't get Mindstorms. I didn't get EV3. I didn't get NXT. None of them. I haven't gotten any of them.
What do you think as an AFOL? What do you think of them?
I love that it exists.
Okay.
Love that it's a thing. It's an offering. It's a product that, goes into the whole programming. I am constantly blown away with what people can do with it.
Sure.
I wish I could do stuff like that with it. I can't. Well, I don't think I can. I probably could if I really wanted.
I'm pretty sure that anything you touch turns to gold.
You get a gold robot that moves. Because I do really like the stuff people do with it. But I don't know. I feel like I'm like, yeah, I can't. So I just haven't. They're also expensive. Those kits are pricey.
Yeah. But remember, kids, anything you set your mind to, you can do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't take this as we're dropping another week of Hinkle wisdom, and I just failed. So you can do it if you want to.
Absolutely. Anything you put your mind to, you can pull it off, kids. You can build big and going strong. Yep.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, we dropped off what I had just gotten my job. I was finally in the Lego group employee payroll.
Nice. So did that, now you've talked about Cowlug.
Yep.
Which was Colorado, Wyoming?
Yep, Colorado and Wyoming.
I didn't know there were any AFOLs in Wyoming.
There's at least a few. So they're part of they got to brand the group. So yeah, it's super interesting because working in a store, again back in those days, there's nobody there. I mean, that's the thing. It was just I have vivid memories of the entire staff of the store. At one point, we had 6 people. That was the whole staff of the Lego store, 6 people. And like during a weekday, you'd have one person in the morning. They would open to like 1-ish, 1:30, maybe 2, and then one person to close. And they come in at like noonish or 11. So you have that little bit of overlap. So that means somebody gets a really late lunch and someone gets a really early lunch. And then that was it. I mean, that was for the day.
Wow.
And you didn't need anybody. You didn't make any money. There was no customers coming in the store. You had plenty of time to stock and straighten and clean again and stock it again. And, it was just such a different time. I remember actually kind of my exposure, I guess, to the community was I was bored.
Which community are you speaking of? Are you talking about the online, or are you talking about the actual real life lug ones?
Just like Lego fan community, I guess. Like, so online probably is more specific to this story, but just in general, the community of Lego fans.
Okay.
So I was honestly bored. And I didn't sit there and just do nothing at work. I mean, I did as much as I could. I would always go around and just clean everything and stock everything and straighten and dust. But at the end of the day, I was like, I've already done it now. There's nothing else I can do today.
It's as clean as it can get.
It couldn't get any cleaner.
That's it.
And people were only coming in, like, somebody would wander in once every maybe hour, 2 hours or whatever, and then they'd wander out. So I was bored. And so one of the things I started doing was taking that opportunity to familiarize myself with products. Because I was actually kind of embarrassed. I was embarrassed that some people would, especially kids, would know more about what I'm selling than I do.
Uh-oh.
And I couldn't stand that. I
No,
was
you
like,
can't have that. That's kids.
and because of course it's Lego products, so there's storylines or whatever, there's character names and stuff like that. I mean, not as many back then as there are now, but it was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it bothered me. It bothered me that like I felt like when grandma would come in and she's like, oh, my grandson wants the green guy from Bionicle, and I don't know what it is. I don't know the name, and I'm like, that's a poor salesman.
Shame on you.
And so I spent a lot of time, like in the afternoon, evening time, because a lot of times I closed. I usually was the closer because I would be in school during the day. I spent a lot of time studying sites like Brickset and sites like Puron, which is not as used today, but it used to be a site that had all the instructions would be uploaded to Puron.
Nice.
Bricklink.
Let me ask you this now, Puron. Am I saying Puron? Is that correct? Am I saying it correctly?
Yeah.
I haven't actually checked it out myself, but my assumption is that I go to Brickset sometimes and do not find old instructions. Will I probably still find them over there?
I'm sorry. I've had a visitor.
Hello, visitor.
What did you ask me?
I like
stage fright.
I said I like some always pepperoni.
Okay, I'll get some in a little bit. Okay. Yeah. See, that's kids.
Enjoy.
Always the best. Always the best. I'll go get some in a little bit. Okay. It's like you gotta end this show right now. All right. So I'm sorry. Yeah, Puron. Sorry, I was re-engaging. So yeah, Puron is a site. It's still active today. And it's Peeron. It's spelled, and it was a really useful tool back then because it was the only place where Lego instructions were put online.
Okay.
Lego itself was not putting instructions online. So if you're like, where do I go to find instructions for old Lego sets? And so Puron is still there and it still has them. It's not as useful now because Lego puts them on there. So it's really only useful for old.
I'm gonna be honest right now. I don't use Lego for instructions. I go straight to Brickset. Excuse me, Brickset.
Oh, that's right. It's cool. That's cool. So yeah, but Brickset was super awesome. Puron was awesome. Bricklink. And I was just sitting, I was just studying these sites on the register. Like, what is it? Who are these fans? Like, what are they? Who made this set?
Right.
Or the site? Like, what was the purpose behind it? And just really, really familiarizing myself with the products. I mean, I was also looking at the catalog, reading the catalog a lot, and the magazines a lot because we had the Lego Club magazine.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I know. I saw. You gotta pick them up. This is what happens when you have late night and like everyone else is asleep. So random children wander the halls looking for adults, and I'm probably pretty loud here in the basement.
I understand. Woke mine up twice.
See, that means we're doing something right. Actually.
There it is.
So yeah, so I did a lot of that. I did a lot of that during my time when I was just trying to really study the products, learn what I was selling, and I actually got pretty good at it. I got pretty good at knowing what I was talking about. Over the years, I eventually became the product knowledge expert in the store.
Nice.
Because I could tell Grandma what was the name of the green character from Bionicle, and I would get the most vague stuff. Like I would come in the store and maybe I'm taking over and someone's like, "Hey, Kevin, there's this customer. There's like a plane," and like they would give me like 2 words. I'm like, "Oh, that's set this and it's that. It's right over there and it's this much."
Nice.
And so I also found out that got me a lot of brick cred is maybe the name with the local AFOLs that were shopping in the store.
Absolutely.
That's when I got exposed to Cowlug and what in the world is Cowlug and who are these people from Cowlug. And so at the time, Cowlug was the only Lego user group in the state. So there's 2 now, but back then there was only 1. And so there was a lot of adult fans that would come and shop in the store, and they would let me know they're members of Cowlug, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. But they definitely were, you know, and I wasn't the only one in the store that was really good with product, but there wasn't many. So they started to, like, you know, you start to anytime you talk to a lug, they will always tell you who their favorite Lego store employees are, because they're the ones that can keep the conversation going with them. They know what they're talking about. So I was honored to be in that, like, inner circle of the lug, that they trusted me. They knew who I was, and I spoke the brick, and you know, but I really wasn't. I didn't consider myself an A-full at that time. I really didn't.
Wow.
I considered myself an employee of the Lego group. I consider myself a product knowledge expert in my store. I was, you know, good at my job.
Sure.
I built sets. I bought sets. I took them home because I was buying sets because when you get a discount, it's cool. It's Lego. You buy it. You build it.
Totally.
So that, from like a couple episodes ago, I was talking about my little, like, shoebox that I would started, a fresh new shoebox. Like, that was a little growing into a little bit bigger one. It took a couple years before I actually decided to reclaim my childhood collection. But so there was a guy who I met in Cowlug named Stuart, and Stuart is important. So Stuart, very, very, very nice guy, very, very nice guy. And he lives in Wyoming. He tells me that he's the reason Cowlug is Cowlug and not Colug. Because Colug is just Colorado Legos Group, and he joined, and so they made him Cowlug for Wyoming. But so Stuart would come in the store not very often, because Wyoming is quite a drive.
Right.
So, but he would come in, and when he did come in, it was maybe once every maybe 6 weeks or 8 weeks. And he would usually be in the store for a long time. He'd be in there for many hours, you know, make the most out of the trip. He was also one of those guys that would like to really meticulously fill the pick-a-brick cup.
Sure.
Oh, no. So he would be there for a long time talking. And he would ask me in the kind of a playful, you know, kind of instigating way. He'd be like, "When are you going to join Cowlug?" Like, he would always just drop that all the time. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys do? Is it a cult? I mean, I don't understand. You know? Like, you know, and I thought it was funny, and, you know, we'd laugh about it. But I mean, he would never relent. You know, he's like, "So when are you joining Cowlug? So when are you joining Cowlug? You know, or when are we going to see you at a Cowlug meeting?" And you know, eventually I said, "Well, let me go look at the website, see what this is about." And that's when I, you know, and they had a Yahoo group. A lot of the groups had lugs had Yahoo groups. Nice. Some of them still do. So they had a Yahoo group where they're chatting and talking. And I realized it's a group of adults that play with Lego, and it really was like a foreign concept to me for some stupid reason. That I'm like, they make their own things. They don't make sets.
Right.
I mean, I know I did it as a kid, but for some reason that knowledge is just kind of lost for a little bit.
I'm unfortunate. I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm mostly a builder.
Yeah, and that's okay, and that's fine. And
I love me some sets.
Yeah, for me, I was like, "What do they do? They don't build the sets." And so I was like, "What are you doing?" And so I eventually joined. So thanks to Stuart's relentless asking, I joined. And I definitely didn't regret it. I mean, I was, but I just joined. I wasn't like super active, and Cowlug at the time wasn't really having meetings. There wasn't like a physical meetup like once a month or anything. So there wasn't really a thing for me to go to. It was just, I was a member. I was active on the Yahoo group, like reading and lurking and stuff like that. But you know, not really. Yeah, he's just gonna sit here the whole time and just
love it.
He's not gonna stop until I get up and do what he wants me to do. That's for sure. But I definitely wasn't building my own things.
Yeah.
But I noticed that as soon as Stuart kind of won and I joined the group,
won you over, yeah.
Stopped asking when I was going to join Cowlug, and every time I saw him, he goes, "When are you going to make your first mock?"
Oh, good.
He just wouldn't stop. And again, I wasn't offended by it. Like, it was playful banter, but I'm like, "What's a mock?" And, you know, that's a, you know, acronym for my own creation, which I'll say for the record, I'm not particularly partial to that term. I don't really like it.
I take it or leave it. I prefer mod personally.
Yeah, mod's a good one.
Yeah.
You don't hear that one very often. Mine's
Yeah.
not a. It's kind of like when people say a hole instead of a foal,
Yeah.
which is a real acronym. It's
Yeah.
adult hobbyist of Lego.
Correct. Yeah.
I think there's a reason people don't say a hole too often.
I imagine. Yeah.
But I don't. Yeah, it's like for me, I feel like mock gets into the whole ATM machine thing.
What?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna go to the ATM machine. You're like, but you just said machine, and people are like, oh, that's my mock creation. Like you hear that a lot, and like, but you just said creation. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think I see Lego as a medium form of art, and so like I see it's a work of art made with Lego pieces or whatever. Like it's a sculpture, but that's a different Hinkleism. You know, for the book. That's for the book. But
There you go.
so he was asking like, when are you gonna make your first mock? When are you? And I was like, man, I gotta make a thing. So I made a thing.
I gotta
My
do
first
it.
mock was I think it's also probably a common first mock. It was my house, like where I live.
Yeah. I didn't do anything like that. But you know.
I know I've heard it from a few folks. Where
I
like,
gotta take this cube off.
you take the skeleton. Yeah, looks pretty good.
And look, he's missing an arm.
Yes, he is missing an arm. See, this is way you're up way too late.
You hear mine just started crying again.
We'll just leave and then we'll just put the kids.
Two kids.
The kids will keep this going. Can you keep it going? Yeah, I can keep it going.
Mine's just screaming.
Just yelling.
I can't take it off.
All right, I'll take it out. So I made my house in Colorado that we were renting. We were just renting a house, and so I built that, and that was my first mock. And I was, you know, where I shared it. I shared it on the Lego.com gallery, on the photo gallery of. That was my place. I was embarrassed to share it with Cowlug. I was like, I can't show it to the experts. Like I can't. Nice, there it is. That's dad mode.
Mom just got through and she's checking on him.
Dad mode activated.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here.
It's fine. It's all fine. So yeah, I posted it to the Lego.com photo galleries, and I eventually did share it with Cowlug and stuff. And I actually don't think it's anywhere right now. It might be on my Brick Shelf account if people know what Brick Shelf is, which is another website that was made for photo hosting of mocks. So brickshelf.com. It's still alive, I think. No one uses it, but it's a nice archive of old mocks. And I have a page there.
That one.
You go back and find it and then post it on your Instagram.
Yeah, I probably won't ever show anyone that. It's just so bad. It's so terrible.
Let's make that the photo for this
thumbnail.
Yeah, the thumbnail
is my first mock. It's so bad. The photo is grainy because the digital camera was like bad, and but you know, whatever. So I made that, and that was kind of an experience. You know, your first mock is a big deal. It's like I'm using my pieces of my collection to make a thing, and I'm not following instructions to make that thing. And do I like it or do I not like the thing? And so I chose to make our house. It had like the roofs could open, so you could like play inside. You know, that's what adult Lego fans do.
That's what we do.
And so, but what was really kind of a big moment for me was the Lug was finally going to do a show. So that there, like I said, it wasn't really. I wouldn't say the Lug wasn't active. It just there wasn't a lot of like things happening. Like they were talking online and having, but there was no meetings, there was no shows. But finally, in I don't even remember what year it was, maybe 2008 or 2007. They were going to do a show. The Lug was going to do a show, and see, I didn't even like. Still, some of those terms were still foreign to me. Like I didn't know like what an event was. So like. They had gotten an agreement from the mall, so Colorado Mills Mall, to have a show, like, you know, just stanchion off an area and put a big layout of a city or something
nice
next to the Lego store. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And so I remember my manager of the store, she was like, oh, we're having a bunch of Lego experts, because she didn't even use the word AFL. We're having a bunch of Lego experts come in and display a huge city build. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. And so Stuart, bless his heart, was like, what are you bringing to the show? And I was like, Stuart, don't do this to me. And I was like, Stuart, I can't bring. There's nothing I can bring that is worthy to be on a table with you guys. I said, I'll just be there working and I'll take care of customers that come in. And he's like, no. And I remember he was like, you're also a member of Cowluck and you need to have something that you can display with us. I was like, and then I felt like I can't let the group down. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. So I spent a lot of time like really contemplating what on earth do I build to bring to this show with all these incredible people that I didn't even know what they were bringing, but I'm like, I know they're bringing something amazing. And so I put a lot of thought into it, and I was sitting at home late one night looking at now I had like a bin. At that point I had gone home. I had reclaimed my collection from being a kid. So I had like a big Sterilite bin. I think I had like 2. And so I didn't have a lot of pieces, but I'm like, what do I build? What do I build? And it was eating me up alive. And I said, I feel like I don't do anything but go to school and go to work, go to school and go to work. So it's like, I was like, my college, the Lego store. And I was like, the Lego store.
The Lego store.
I was like, I'm going to build a Lego store. And I was like, nobody's built a Lego store before.
Never.
And I, I did some research online, not a lot, but I went to the sites that I knew about. Mock Pages was another site back in the day, which still exists to this day, but it's a site that was started by Sean Kinney, who's a Lego certified professional in New York.
Oh my.
Again, it was an attempt to make a site for AFOLs to share what they've built. So he got a website called Mock Pages. So I searched on like Mock Pages. I searched on Brick Shelf. I searched, and they said, has anyone made a Lego store? And nobody had. It was nowhere.
Really?
Now, I mean, everyone's made a Lego store.
Everybody's got one.
I can find one anywhere. And I was like, man,
Crazy.
I could be the first person to make a Lego store model. Now, I'm sure someone might have done it and just never shared it, or maybe I didn't find it. But so for an entire week, the week before the show, I stayed up every night till like 4 a.m. just building this Lego store model. And I felt so much pressure. I was like, it's got to be good. And the scary thing, I thought this was scary. I built the whole thing from memory because I worked. I was a full. I think at that point I'm now full time working in the store all the time.
Okay.
And I've been there for years now. And I was like, I know what the store looks like. So I just sat there and I built the whole store. And I built the whole store, like the back room, the bathroom that was not open to the public. And I did it all minifigure scaled, which is what I liked. I really like to build in minifigure scale.
There's no other scale in my personal opinion.
I know. I mean, I'm looking at all these mosaic thingies I've done, but my minifig scale I like minifig scale. It's pretty awesome.
Look, he has long arms.
Super long skeleton arms.
Nice. Good touch.
It's good stuff.
He's a killer skeleton.
A killer.
Killer.
That's a mock creation.
That's a mock mod.
It's a creation. So I was really happy with how it turned out. I was proud enough to take it. It fit on 2 gray base plates. So it was like a long model. Because the Lego stores are usually like a shoebox shape. They're rectangle. So I took it to the store and I put it down on the register. And the staff were the first to see it because it's the store, it's where I work.
Krusty Krab pizza. Krusty Krab pizza.
Or SpongeBob references. And so they loved it. They're like, it's the store, and I made the whole staff. So I made little custom figures of the staff. Nice. And for the torsos of the figures, because we had the aprons, I had a yellow, I took a yellow torso with printing on the front and none on the back, and I would flip it around so that it's blank yellow, and I would pop out sleeves and have black sleeves, and then little tiny Lego decals, because I kept all my decal sheets, and I still do.
Good
so
for
I
you.
cut off the Lego logos, and I put them on the yellow to make it look like an apron, kind of.
There you go.
But I made the whole staff. So I took it out, and I was actually I was really proud of it. I was like, I made a mock and I brought it to the show. And I was, the plan was to put it in the layout somehow. Here it is. Here's a Lego store for the city, and they were all setting up the city. It was huge. I mean, it was like, massive layout, which you expect from a club of adult families. And they were like, you can't put this in the city. And I mean, I had a split second of like, oh my goodness, I failed them.
It's terrible.
Because I'm holding it, and I don't remember who it was. It might have been Dwayne. Dwayne was another like prominent member of Cowlug. I think he was one of the founding members.
Okay.
And he was like, we got to put this in front, like in front of everything.
No.
Oh, I mean, so like they put out a separate table in front of the whole city.
Wow.
Like it was special of the store, and it was actually, since it was in that direction, it was facing the store. So like the Lego stores were facing each other.
Oh.
And I mean, I was like, wow, they liked it enough that they wanted me to put it in front. I mean, maybe that was just them being nice, and it didn't fit the scale, like put it over here. But I mean, I was like, wow, they let me put it in the front, like it's the first thing you see as you see the whole layout. And it was awesome. And they all, like, I remember the whole group coming over. It was like 15 people, and they were all like leaning into it, looking at the angles of it, and I'm like sitting there in the back, like, oh my gosh. And they all liked it, and I was like, man, that's so cool. They liked the thing I did. And so, I mean, and the store liked it too. And actually, hey, they actually, my boss asked if I could leave it on display in the store. And so we did. So we had like a display case that we just had that we would put Lego sets in it. And we put it on display. So my store was in the store.
Wow. How meta.
And so, of course, I made a little tiny, I put it like the Lego store is in the Lego store is in the Lego. So, but, there's still photos like buried in my Flickr of me standing next to the model in the Lego store.
That's awesome.
But that was my first lug was Cowlug.
Wow.
Really, because Stuart. It's all Stuart. And what's funny is I went to was it not last year. Maybe it was last year, 2017. I went to Denver Brickfest because Brickfest had traveled over to Denver, and I said I got to go back to Denver. I mean, it's my Lego roots, and a lot of my Lego journey started in Colorado, and so I went and Stuart, I think you might have shown up for a little bit for the public time, but I said, Stuart, I cannot leave the state of Colorado without us having dinner.
There you go.
And so I had dinner with Stuart, and I told him finally, I was like, it's you, man. You got me into this community. You got me into the lugs. You made me make a mock. So there's also a picture of me and Stuart like on my Instagram. I mean, you have to go back to last year, but I'm like, this is the man that got me into this.
Nice.
And we had a nice chocolate cake at where did we had some steakhouse. But that was another story too. I'll tell that story later.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so my first lug was Cowlug. My first mock was my own house, and it was terrible. And I put it on the Lego.com photo gallery. And my first real, I consider the Lego store my first real mock. Like that was the first one that was cool. And that, I mean, that actually turned into a thing. That Lego store model turned into it kept going. I
really wish you still had that Lego mock or Lego store mock.
I kept it around for so long, so long. I mean, and the other thing is, I mean, we'll get into it later in the lineage, but
we got time.
But that model I kept together all the way up until I left Colorado when I moved out, and I took it apart only to rebuild it into another Lego store model because I transferred to a different store, which it's part of the story later. But the second model that I built of the store I worked at in Arizona was my first, maybe my only model that got blogged by thebrothersbrick.com. And that's like AFL cred. When you're like, I have been blogged by the Brothers Brick.
Full on time. Yes, sir.
So that was a really proud moment for me.
Look at them long arms. So, ladies and gentlemen, that'll bring us towards the end of our third episode of Forever Sorting with Kevin A. Hinkle and son.
Child. You know, his name is Austin.
All right. Oh, wow. Awesome.
Well,
but So we made it through a simple. We made it through the first time Kevin ended up in a lug. For his first mock, his second mock, which he is more proud of than his first.
Right.
And so we thank Stuart greatly for pushing Kevin.
And thank Cow Lug for being my first lug.
Absolutely. For pushing Kevin and putting him in the right direction. Kevin, you want to say anything before we leave out of here?
Yeah, just thanks for being interested in the story. In tale, I do enjoy talking. I was just gonna say I just enjoy talking.
I enjoy listening and asking stupid questions.
Absolutely. No, it's been good. It's been fun.
And for everybody, I'm Rick Smith, aka Julian, and I appreciate you guys joining us for another Forever Sorting with Kevin A. Hinkle. And I'm Rick Smith. And remember, we gotta love those bricks. Bye, everybody.